So this was one MES contract. Okay, so it's not terrible. But in the 3 minutes that it took me to go outside and bring out the garbage and come back, it was down $1,200.
Longtime fans of the show should be familiar with the lender formerly known as Sue Pullen, and I'm pleased to announce that she's back, fresh off a rebrand and ready to help as Sue Mackey. Sue is a certified mortgage advisor at Fairway Independent Mortgage, an equal housing lender who focuses on finding the right product for you and your needs. She has over 20 years of experience helping thousands of homeowners. Whether it's purchasing, refinancing, or even a reverse mortgage, Sue will help. Sue's licensed in 36 states now, so reach out and let Sue Mackey it happen for you. The best way to reach her is just give her a call at 520-977-7904 or in an email, spullen@fairwaymc.com. Fairway Independent Mortgage has an MLS number of 2289. Sue Mackey has an MLS number of 206048. That email again, spullen@fairwaymc.com, and that phone number is 520-977-7904. Shoot Sue an email and let her know she needs to update that address. Disclaimer time. This is where I tell everyone to lighten up. It's just a podcast. Trading is like that roller coaster at the amusement park. Thrilling, unpredictable, and potentially stomach-churning. What works for one person might leave another clutching their hat in the wind. Our hosts and guests, they're awesome, knowledgeable, full of insights, but we're not financial advisors. So don't rush to make any investment decisions based solely on our banter. Always consult with a professional or do your own research. Plus, let's face it, we like to have fun, laugh, enjoy the trading ride together. It's all in the name of good podcasting fun. So remember, take it easy, don't bet the farm, and keep your seatbelts on at all times. Thank you for listening.
I'm going to get one more handful of these and you can do your intro while I'm chewing on silent.
Chew it loudly and see if you can distract me with it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the China Shop, home of the Band of Traders podcast. Turn that mic back on, dude. For real. My name's Kyle, your humble host. Joining me tonight, I got Vanta Trading's Baba Yaga and his wheat thins, and our director of guest procurement, Bear Goes Long. How you guys doing today?
All right, it's Friday.
Friday? What was the best meal you guys ate this week? That's something that gets talked about a lot in the off-topic channel. So
the best meal I ate this whole week was the meal. Okay, yeah, tonight's meal. My wife made these really big pasta shells, like this big, really big pasta with cheese, some kind of cheese
like
inside.
The size of an orange.
Yes, like the size of a
I know what you're talking about. It looks like a big old shell, like the Velveeta
like,
shells, but like 15 times larger. Yeah.
And then inside some kind of magic cheese, and then shrimp, like a sautéed shrimp.
Really?
And so it was like sautéed shrimp with big old shells with cheese inside, and then cheese sauce on them, and then broccoli as a side with that, bro.
Dude, can I get that recipe?
Yeah,
I kind of want to try that.
She could probably give it to you. It was like my daughter came, like after she ate her plate, she was like, "Mom, this was so good." So yeah, it was amazing, dude.
What about you, Bear?
Same thing I have every Friday. Nice big 18-ounce prime rib.
To be
rare.
To be Bear. Man, so I found something this weekend, or my wife actually figured this out. We've been experimenting with pretzels and bagels all this past week. And she found something called barley malt. I think it's called barley malt syrup.
Oh, right.
It is. I'm telling you, I think it's the thing that gives the pretzels its flavor, man. Because the batch that we made today was phenomenal.
Are you trying to make your own pretzels?
Yeah.
Like the big soft ones you bake in the oven?
Right. Yep.
And barley salt's the magic.
It's barley syrup,
malt.
I think.
Or barley
malt syrup. It's something like that. It's like a Caro syrup almost, or it kind of looks like molasses, but smells.
And what's the role of that in the making of the
sugar replacement?
Are you trying to replace the sugar?
From somewhere reading, it says that's what gives pretzels its distinct pretzel flavor. But they also mentioned it for bagels too, so we thought we'd give it a shot. But so far, the results have been pretty damn good.
Yeah, it's a hell of a pretzel. Do you have QT gas stations?
Not here anymore. We used to. I think Casey's is the closest we have now.
Bear, do y'all have QT gas stations wherever the F you live in the freaking plains and tundra?
We had them all over Arizona at the time.
Yo, the kitchens in a QT gas station are on another level around here, dude. It's kind of unbelievable. Like their their kitchens are really, their pizza, dude. Their pizza
see,
is
like Casey's does.
amazing.
Casey's has the same like thing they have there, I think, because they have the breakfast ones at QT, right? Where you can get like the nacho cheese and or sausage gravy and like eggs and bacon and stuff.
Yeah, QT is like the. So there's this big controversy in my area between a gas station chain called Spinks and a gas station chain called QT.
Is it Spinks like an underwear?
Spinks like the big dragon thing or whatever. Yikes. Or not dragon, like the big cat. Like
Sphinx.
Sphinx, yeah. But it's spelled Spinks, but they use the... Anyways, the QT moved this direction from Atlanta and started to like invade their territory, and so the owners had like a discussion about keeping things civil and separated. You know, you're down there, we'll be over here, you be in that part of town, and it all went to hell. And now they're like building across from each other and stuff. It's unbelievable.
Oh, it's like the Starbucks in a Starbucks.
Do you guys you guys watch that the Foods That Made America? I think it is.
No.
It's like a History Channel special. They had one on like KFC, and I guess that dude got into a like gunfight, shot a dude over like some gas station turf wars.
I feel like you've said that. You've said that before. You've watched that. I feel like I've heard you say that very statement in the past.
I mean, it's possible.
How recently did you watch said show?
It would have been since we came back from Arizona in March. Or whatever that was. March
no
or April.
chance. Maybe I'm just making that up then.
Nah.
Oh, well. Takes one to know one, I guess.
Any show news to report on?
You released Mandy's episode, right?
I did. That was
Wait, we got a new episode that I didn't see it. It didn't ping me when you did it or something.
Oh man, it was Kyle's interview with Mandy. I heard
Rafsanjani.
I really wish that I would have. I really wish I knew that because I was doing a lot of work out and about this afternoon. I could have listened to it for sure.
That one, that one was a lot of feel of like Rich Friesen. Kind of reminded me. She snuck me onto the couch and I wasn't looking.
It happens to the best of us.
She is good.
There's actually something
she's really good, and that was I really enjoyed listening to that interview. So
I think there's something on that kind of is tying into this the topic that I wanted to suggest for tonight. So maybe we just jump into that. But
Cleo said that she would jump on with us right now, voice
there's
only.
no camera.
Oh yeah, jump in.
Dude, God, please.
Come on down.
The links in the main.
Cleo, I'll just talk a lot less. You take my place. I'll listen. Okay, we'll give you a minute to get your mic set up. Laura.
Yeah, we're just going to pause.
We love
here for
you.
Cleo.
Thank you for being patient with us as you edit this out. I'll tell you a brief story.
Oh God.
Today I pressure washed the back of my the deck. We have a really big deck on the back of our house. And I went out to pressure wash it because it's, been like 2 seasons. And I want to tell you that my wife has been very protective of these squirrels that we have around our house. Even if they eat the birdseed, even if they they're just stupid. They poop on stuff. I don't like the squirrels, okay? So I wanted to kill all the squirrels. She wanted to keep them all alive. I was very disappointed in that decision, but I'm an understanding man, right? I mean, so we let them live. Do you want to know what the squirrels had done? We haven't spent a lot of time on the back deck this spring because it needed to be pressure washed. The squirrels chewed all of our lights. Of our lights. There's 4 of like 30 lights left on the back deck. So we have these, everybody
like
has
a
the
Christmas
big
tree string?
No. Well, like the really big, warm yellow glowing like Edison bulbs.
Yeah. They're about like inch 2 in diameter.
Yeah, but we bought like ours are big. Like it was awesome.
Right, but you had like a big string of like 30 or 40 of them.
Oh yeah, it went all the way around the handrail, down the stairs. Looked awesome. Yeah. Oh my God, when it was turned on at night, you have a little fire going. We got patio furniture back there. Friends over, have a drink, tell a story. I went back there, and when it got dark, I plugged the lights in, and then I realized these bastards.
There's 15 fires that start up.
They have chewed them, and they take them. I don't know where they take them. The bulbs are gone. They just chew it off, and they're gone. And it's not electric. I don't know how it's. It's not
Oh yeah,
electrocuting them.
they're like decoration, man. They're hauling off with them. They're
I
like,
think
ooh,
their
shiny
Christmas,
things. Shiny
their
things.
Christmas must be this time of year.
Do you have pack rats? Because that sounds like a pack rat thing.
No, we don't have pack
I
rats.
think most rodents do that.
Is it?
But
Huh.
so my son and I are planning an all-out assault on the squirrels. And Laura, that story's for you. I don't know why. It's what came to mind. Cheers.
That was just to make her have more ammo to get me to finally get the pressure washer out so we can do the side of the house.
Hey, Kyle, let me tell you something. Speaking of what we're capable of, the more I don't know the answer to this. It is either the more productive I am outside the charts, the better I trade, or it is the better I'm trading, the more motivated I am to be productive outside the charts. I don't know which is the yin or, which is the lever and which is the effect, but it is very true.
Yeah.
That there's a relationship there. I've gotten so much stuff done in the last few weeks.
Dude, me too, actually.
An amazing amount.
Me too, and I feel like the trading's actually been good too. Like,
that's
it's not
what
like
I'm saying.
I'm hiding from it. Yeah.
They're married for me.
Right.
It's almost like if I don't have a story to tell about something cool I got done, then I probably traded like ass. But that hasn't been the case lately.
That was the case for a little bit. It'd be if I do poorly trading, then I'm going to go try to do something productive to try to make up for it, kind of.
No,
At least that was the mindset. That was my mindset for a little bit. But that's kind of shifted now to where it's just, I'm going to do something productive one way or the other. And it's not tied to the trading anymore. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
No. So, I pressure washed about a third of the back deck, dude. It looks so good. It's unbelievable. You don't notice how dirty something is, and then you pressure wash it and you're like, oh my God. My son came out. He was like, wow, it looks like you replaced all the boards. I was like, I did not. And it's cool, man. Like I wish you got. I mean, no one lives around here, but it would be a great place to come over and hang out. Like, I mean, we do, but obviously you guys can't. Sorry.
Yeah.
But the back deck, I guess we're just waiting for Cleo, right? This is not podcast. We're just like shooting
this
shit.
might actually make it in there because I'm actually kind of into it.
I was just saying, so the back deck, it's amazing. Like, we have a fire pit, we have furniture around, those lights, and then I have like 4 smokers back there. 4 different types of smokers, a big table, chairs around the table. You're looking out at, there's a huge tree right beside the deck, and all the branches cover, and then there's bird feeders hanging from that and wind chimes. And it's amazing. It's my favorite spot, dude. Come hang out.
So now I'm curious. So let me guess. You have like a pellet smoker. You have like a charcoal briquette one, a like traditional like barrel wood where you actually like stick whole things of wood in there. Okay,
Yeah,
so no pellet.
No pellet. So I actually have a charcoal like charcoal and you feed wood into a pan on top of the charcoal.
Yeah,
kind of a barrel
so
style.
You put like wood chips in water or something.
I have that.
Yeah.
I have a gas smoker.
Oh,
so
all right.
a gas flame to
propane powered.
Yep. And then I have an electric. So that's like the loser smoker, no offense, but I have an electric smoker. Nice thing about the electric smoker is the poultry smoker. So any kind of poultry, that's the way, because the smoke is much lighter. Like no matter what smoke, no matter what wood you use, it just doesn't smoke that well. It's a great cooker, but it's, so I use that. And then I have, my favorite is my offset vertical. So I have an offset vertical where I build a fire. You build a fire, with hickory or whatever, and they're in a barrel, and then it draws
food
over.
Would be a great topic.
So Cleo's here.
What's
Anyways,
up, boys?
Yo,
Yeah.
what it
Yeah,
is?
your
Can you
audio,
hear me?
your audio is
The
really up
volume's
there.
okay.
You're on.
I turned it down.
You better now. You're better
I
now.
always come in strong with the mic.
Come in hot. That's fine. That's what we need.
Cleo, was my topic just getting you itching to jump in and join in? Is that what happened?
I just asked her.
Oh, is that what?
I said, will you come join us?
It's true, you did, Baba. I mean, also in the Discord chat, Kyle, your topic of like, what was it? Things that
what I'm capable of.
What
kinda?
you're capable
Yeah.
of, yeah, and then positive or negative. And I was reflecting about like, oh, the positive things that I'm capable of are actually just like super vulnerable to consider, right? Or like share. Like I think it's easier to share about the more challenging things, or like I'm capable of, losing X amount of dollars in a day or something, or I'm capable of fucking my life up in some way. But
Cleo, what's hilarious is I didn't even
little boredom
consider
sabotage.
I didn't even consider that there was a positive side to that statement that I was
That's so
when I was
interesting.
thinking about it.
So when you mention it, Kyle, so
Yeah.
so as you state that, what am I capable of? What's the forefront thought to that phrase? I'm curious because mine went. I'm curious to know where everybody's mind went when they read it.
Well, for me, I was thinking more reflecting like on something Flary had talked about, and I think the humanity episode he did with us, and then in some of the other conversations we've done, where he says, "I know what I'm capable of, like, and thus I know like what I have to be careful of, or what I need to guard against." And I think, like for me, like I'm finally starting to understand what I am capable of. And the more I become aware of that, the more afraid I am of trusting myself. And so I think it's just kind of coming to grips with understanding like how easy or how close it is for me, or always being on the edge of like, just trying to burn everything to the ground is kind of what it feels like. You know what I mean?
God dang.
That also just seems like a challenging direction to be moving in a place of like, yeah, I'm learning to trust myself less, like,
well,
I don't know.
I think it's now that I'm starting
That
to see
seems
like
hard.
what I need to do to be able to trust myself. Like I think there was some discussion with my wife this morning as I was kind of like thinking through this a little bit about like loopholes and how much I love a good loophole, and like maybe there's some of that like subconsciously going on where I like to find a loophole of like, oh, I can put a trade on here because you haven't said I can't do this. Ha ha ha! Watch me lose all your money now.
I mean, loopholes are like the essence of trading, too.
Loopholes are satisfying, too, when you
Yeah.
can, like, shove somebody's rules back in their face. It's like, haha, I'm doing what you said I have to do, and it's pissing you off. And I'm so happy.
Oh, I mean, I'm obsessed with the whole Phoenix analogy. It's like, talk about even like loopholes in trading rules. It's like, I've done that, like, prop shop combine account. It's like, oh, your maximum loss limit is $2,000, and I managed to lose like 20-40, and it doesn't lock me out, and I recover and I get it back, and I'm like, I beat you.
Yeah, I've done that.
But no, I mean the real thing that I struggle with is wanting to burn it down just so I can start from scratch, start fresh.
Yep.
Like with real money?
With funded accounts.
Accounts, yeah.
Prop firm accounts,
Yeah.
That's less of an...
I mean, it's real money, but yeah.
There's less of a want to do that with the real account, though, I found, at least for me personally. Like, the props, it's much easier to want to hit that reset button.
God,
well,
man. But
I mean, even funded accounts, there's no reset button.
Go ahead, Baba.
Yeah. Sorry.
I was just going to say, it's the time, dude. If I took anything away from that whole fiasco in the fall, okay, so the money was whatever. The thing I just loathed and like lamented and like, just died over was the time.
Yeah.
Unless, if you trade up to a funded account, I mean, I guess most companies you can get there in a couple days. That's the fastest you can get there is a couple days. You have to be a little risk. You have to be pretty risk tolerant, kind of be willing to just burn this to the ground today, But if it goes well, then, you got to roll the dice twice, basically. So if you don't do it that way, it probably takes, I don't know, what do you think? Like a week, maybe 10 days? It's probably 10 days for pretty much any account. You could responsibly pass it. Well, that's 10 days, dude. It's like a third of a month. And that is just gone.
That's a half of a trading month.
So that account doesn't cost $50. I think of that account. That account costs $10,000 in my mind. Like 10 trading days, I just gave to them for free.
Right.
That's the way I look at it. $5 to $10,000.
Yeah.
So. Think about that next time you burn you're tempted to burn a funded account to the ground. It's like, shit, man. I mean, you're in the sweet spot, where you can, Every 200 bucks is 200 bucks. 200 bucks is 200 bucks.
I mean, I just lost an account that had 18 winning days, so 18 days of more than $200 in profit, and I didn't burn it down. It was just I had 10 days in a row of bad trading.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Losing an account or losing money in general. So we talked about this, Kyle. If you look back, and Cleo, love your thoughts on this. If you look back at the trades you took, and you can honestly say to yourself, I'd take that every time, then it's just variance, and possibly you caught the worst end of variance of your strategy, and it just sucks. And you wish you maybe would have noticed it and taken a few days off or a week off. If that's how it happened, that's cool. But if it was like 10 days of just... 10 days of just or 2 days or whatever of just, foolishness. It's like, oh man, those are the ones that hurt.
Yeah. I mean, on that account, the daily loss limit I had set at $450, and I was really good. It's a good number for me. I had 2 days out of that 10, 12 days where I was up $600-700 in the account, and I went back and I traded it again, and I traded all the way to zero, all the way to negative 450.
Stop.
If I had not done that, that account would still be up a couple grand.
Yeah, but it's not a math problem.
I shoot myself in
it's not. It's not a math problem. It's not a math problem.
No, that's a shoot myself in the foot problem.
But that's understanding what you're capable of, and now needing to come up with a plan to be able to. How do you stop yourself from doing that, or how do you interrupt that cycle, or how do you?
Can I tell you guys?
You
guys a terrible story?
Oh no,
it's awful.
I don't want a terrible story. I want something exciting.
No, I haven't been able to talk to traders about what happened. It was awful. I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting, and I got hurt. You know that day where that like fake Mike Bloomberg report came out. This was, I don't know, whenever, a month ago or something. And the market, you remember, like,
and we just ripped like a million points.
Yeah, a million points.
So yep, I remember that day. That was the day
that was
of
a
the
Monday.
Special.
It was a Monday. Yeah.
The one I'm thinking was a Wednesday. It was the Special Olympics.
There were two of them. One was the real announcement. Same week.
Okay. I'm with you.
Yeah. It was the fake announcement. And so I have a girlfriend that we have like retreats together sometimes, and we're in a house together. We just hang out, and we're there for the week working. And I'm also trading in the morning. And it's Monday morning. And I decided to get into a short because that is what I'm seeing. And my friend, she yells from upstairs. She's like, "Hey, I think I hear the garbage truck out there. I think it's garbage day." And I'm like, "Okay, right. We're supposed to bring the garbage out. Cool." And I didn't set a stop. I'm like,
"Oh, no.
It's fine. What's going to happen?" And that happened. And in 3 minutes, so this was one MES contract. Okay, so it's not terrible. But in the 3 minutes that it took me to go outside and bring out the garbage and come back, it was down $1,200.
On a micro?
On a micro.
Wow.
And I got out at negative 1266. That was my trade.
240 points.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I remember that.
It was so painful. And my main takeaway about this is that I just should never be the one to take out the garbage. I'm never taking out the garbage again.
Well, there's probably some other takeaways, Cleo.
That's a good lesson.
But,
Cleo, do you trade on Sierra?
No.
No. What are you using?
I just use TradingView. Hooked up to Interactive Brokers.
Dude, a lot of people are using TradingView these days. Banks is using TradingView.
I wonder if, does Banks have any like hard stops set up in his account? Is that something that can help her figure out?
I don't know. I am so sorry.
I mean, I can do it. I just have to do it. Yeah.
You just have to set up the brackets so that it auto stops.
One thing I have, I don't know if TradingView has this. Yeah. Every trade I put on has a like there's an emergency stop of 70 points. Like, so my bracket is a 70-point stop loss with no take profit. So when I put on any contract, if the worst were to happen, like I click the button and then, a tweet comes out immediate before I even get to moving the stop to where I want it. At least that doesn't happen because I've been there. That's happened to me before. And it's like
it's a hard lesson. I mean, it's a valuable lesson,
dude. I am sorry.
That's a painful one, though, man.
That's tough because my mind. I don't know if yours does. My mind automatically goes to how many days of work that I just piss into the fan. That's what I automatically think. Like how many days? Okay, if that was my high water mark, and then I just gave back that much, what is an average normal within the standard distribution of my profits day, and did I just set myself back a month or 2 weeks?
Flip that thinking though, Baba, just a little bit, because Cleo, when you came back in and you saw what happened, how quickly did you flatten that?
Very quickly.
Okay, so how much did you saved the account? You acted immediately and you saved your account. How much work did you save?
Yes, but I wouldn't have actually lost my whole account. I mean, it would have gone in the red like 1,500 before it shot back down in my direction, right? It didn't actually, it would have hit my take profit maybe, I don't know, the following week if I just stayed in that trade.
Yeah, but you're not doing that.
But I'm not going to do that. I'm definitely not doing that.
That's the definition of when a day trade turns to a swing trade.
Right?
You don't do that on the short side.
No.
That's the definition of a suicide trade.
Yeah, at that point, it wouldn't have blown out my account. But I think...
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Anyway, yeah, it was terrible. Like, it's also the worst when it bounces in your direction, right? You take a huge loss like that, and then later that day, if I had stayed in it, I think I would have lost like 400. Instead of 12, right?
But
the fake news day, the fake news day at that round.
But I'm not going to do that. Yeah.
Man, I know, but that just needs to be acknowledged that is just really unfortunate.
I feel like every trader needs that moment, though. Probably it's like every motorcyclist is going to fall off at some point. Like every trader has one of these trades, at least one.
It's not if, it's when.
The safest you ever drive is right before you almost crash, or right after you almost crash. You never drive safer.
Yeah, I was so confident about that short. I didn't even put a stop on it.
I bet you had a stop on the next trade.
I mean, I didn't trade for a while after that, but yes.
Yeah. So I'm in the process of learning Motive Wave. So I'm doing some experimentation with a different prop firm, and it includes a free license for Motive Wave. And I'm like, oh, cool. And so I actually got two of their funded accounts, and I'm like, sweet. And so my second day, I was like, oh, well, I need to figure out how to do copy trading. Motive Wave has native copy trading. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's set this up. And so I actually, I got it figured out, and I actually set myself up in a trade. And this is late at night, and it's like, oh, cool. Okay, trade's moving my direction. It hit my first take profit. My stops at break even. I've got some targets. I'm like, oh, cool. This is good. I'm good. I go to bed. Wake up the next morning. Thankfully, this is just like 3 MES. Wake up the next morning, and my computer's rebooted. I'm like, oh, okay. Don't really think about it. Log in, fire up Motive Wave, and it's like, that's funny. Both of my accounts are at like negative $300. So I'm like, what? And it turns out, when the reboot, they're not server side stops. So it's like, oh, all right, there's a lesson learned. Do not leave a trade running in Motive Wave. Yeah.
Expensive lessons.
Yep.
So we're all capable of...
It's like the second day of those funded accounts.
We're all capable of some stupidity, it seems.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Basic stuff also.
So,
gosh.
I mean, I don't know if this ties into... So Cleo, we were kind of chatting a little bit in Sean's Discord about, just, I don't know, confidence in yourself kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I think, because you kind of said something that you were kind of going through, and it's struck something that I've been talking about the last few weeks on this program, it feels like. And how, I guess, I don't know what's different about what I'm doing recently, but whatever I've been doing recently, just does feel different somehow. I was kind of thinking a little bit more along the lines of that, and it almost feels like my approach to this like process with the OR that I've been developing is like I'm more looking for flaws and how it's going to fail this time around than just kind of looking at it as this is my winning setup and trying to make it win. Like I don't know if that makes any sense. Like I feel like I'm
That
a lot
seems
more
good.
I'm a lot more looking for ways that it's going to break and like on guard for that. And I don't know that I've had that mentality before when I've been trying to develop a.
Doesn't that seem like the correct way to do it, you
Yeah,
guys?
right? Yeah, and people told me that
Look for how to improve
since
it.
we started.
Yeah, but it
and-
actually is in there now.
Yeah, it didn't make sense then. Now it does.
Yeah.
So much freaking advice people gave me was just wasted on me.
So you're saying like disqualifying is more important than qualifying?
Right. What I'm looking at ways that if I try to employ this strategy live going forward, like how am I gonna fuck it up? Like what things are gonna distract me from not taking it the way that I look at it and do it, or am doing it now? Like where am I gonna go off the rails? Where are the decision points where I have to make a decision, and how am I gonna make that decision repeatably? Like that's something I think's been missing from all of my plans, processes, setups before.
Yeah. What do you think, Baba?
I mean, I think that's important. Well, and two, like if you're trading it live, it's probably easier to make better decisions when it doesn't matter, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I experienced last year. So, for the first, chunk of last year, everything mattered so much, and it
but there's
was
also
tougher
a side when it doesn't matter enough too, to where it got too. I think that's what happened with the prop accounts. It was that it got so easy to click a button and it not mean anything that it became too easy to not trade the process.
It's kind of funny. So it's almost like a loop. I think I think you kind of start at a place and arrive almost back at the opposite place. So
yeah,
it's like when you're trying to prove something out and you're testing it, you're going to probably make less emotionally charged decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, you're thinking with the part of your brain that is the part of your brain you want to be thinking
Right.
with. And then I think the challenge is to try to codify those decision points and make them pretty systematic, or at least have some type of rules around that.
Yep.
Once that happens, then I think, yes, you have to go through the growing pains of, well, I know if I click the button, the worst that happens is this. And so you get a little flippant. And then I think you kind of come back around to, like you said, if it's like with a funded account, it can be easy to be lured to just kind of being foolish with it. But I think you come back around to a point where the trade is going to be profitable or it's not. And your job is just to take the trade. And I feel like when your risk is in check, then the stress of the outcomes is there's not an unknown. And that's one thing that has been kind of my experience being reacquainted with that, because I feel like last year I struggled that was a struggle a little bit.
Yeah.
And there's just not very much unknown at this point. Only thing I don't know is how far something's going to go. But I know that I'm either going to lose this much or we're going to make some amount. And then it just becomes like, you just fire it off when it's there. And so it's almost
Baba,
like,
do you have a max loss in a day, or is it just like your own felt experience that you back away from the screen?
Yeah, 3 average days of winning is the most I want to lose in one losing day, and really I prefer it to be like, if it usually I stop before that.
Yeah.
So it'd be 2 days. I want a 2-day setback. That's all. I don't want. I mean, I could, I can dig the hole as deep as I want, but a 2-day setback is, nothing change. I'm emotionally, mentally, everything, mood, vibes. It's easy to. I just, I don't.
You really
have
think
a
about
problem.
it in terms of days. This is the third time you've mentioned
I do.
days as the way
I
to
do.
assess. Yeah, in terms of your investment.
I do. I noticed that I used to try to ignore that, I used to try to ignore that idea, but it was so forward in my mind. And so I thought, well, okay, so it's like, is this a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know, but it is a thing for me, especially in this, like where I am now. Like,
if it helps you conceptualize something, then I can't imagine it being terrible.
Yeah, so whether it's good or bad, my mind goes to days. And I know what an average, like, regular good day is, and I know what a better than good day is, and I know what a average bad day is, and I know what where I want to stop the bleeding, and then
You have what I'd never want to experience again, probably.
yeah, and then and so I just I liked I had let's look, had a red day on Thursday yesterday. What's today? Friday? Yeah, yesterday had a red day. Called banks. Said, man, dude, I'm kind of came into the day. I can't remember if I came in with some P&L from overnight or not, but I came into the day and traded just couldn't get anything going. Everything was like, kind of halfway working. So I called him after we finished streaming and I was like, yo, man, I just kind of, wasn't feeling it, was down a little bit. Yeah. I came in with a decent amount of profit actually on the day and gave some of that back and then gave back like an average green day on top of that. So I said to him, this is where I have a decision to make. We've usually had great moves in the afternoon. I could trade the afternoon, probably claw my way back to break even or plus. But where I stand right now, like one normal day cleans this day up. So is it even worth the risk of continued loss and extending that into next week? Or should I just like take an average losing day and just admit that I'm not perfect and some days I still have a red day? And he was like, yeah, dude, just freaking take it. Because I think from when we ended stream to when I called him, I had traded a little bit more and had clawed back some of the clawed back.
What day was this again? Did you say Thursday?
Thursday. Yeah.
Was that the day I asked you?
No, that was today. Oddly enough.
Was that today?
No, that was yesterday,
that was
wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, yesterday.
It was really interesting watching because you took some losses, but you never looked like your thinking or anything was ever compromised. Like
no, I mean that's the thing. Yeah. When there's no unknown. Like I'm not going to embrace the unknown of what could I lose. I'm going to embrace what I will lose, and when I say lose, the amount of money I'm willing to spend to find out.
Yeah.
That was also the day that I had lunch with my wife scheduled for Mother's Day. I was looking for that move back up. That happened over lunch. That was tough. And
so frustrating.
I told my wife, this is the most expensive lunch we've had ever. The point is, I left it alone, came back. Obviously, it wasn't that big of a loss. Today eclipsed that, like by 2x. And when you have those experiences, it helps kind of galvanize that behavior is the proper choice.
To take the loss. Yeah.
Take the small loss on a day, or a reasonable loss, or loss within the threshold. Because and dude, if I hadn't had lunch plans, it would have not been a lost day, because I would have for sure taken that trade. I think I stopped out like it was a balance area. 83 is the number I remember in my head. I think I took a trade out of there before we left for lunch, put a stop to break even. Somewhere just above 83, and I think I got like wicked out over lunch. When I came back, I looked at it and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Holy cow.
Aww.
I mean, we moved like 300 points that day to the upside, if you remember.
Yeah.
It would have been a banger trade. And we swept overnight highs and RTH highs. That was like where we wanted to go. Banks freaking took that trade. JMac took that trade. So I hate both of them that day. But
history isn't just boring names and dates. It's weird, messy, and full of what were they thinking moments. The buck starts here, dives into the financial fiascos, questionable deals, and outright chaos that helped build America, $1 at a time. We mix in serious history from a fresh perspective, real, deep dives into the numbers and the moments that shaped the country, without the boring lecture. From presidential blunders to almost states, and the time an international war almost started over a pig, we break down the key events that made, and nearly broke, the nation. It's the fascinating, untold history you won't find in the textbooks. Subscribe to the Buck Starts Here podcast for a deeper look at presidential history that's anything but dull.
Longtime fans of the show should be familiar with the lender formerly known as Sue Pullen, and I'm pleased to announce that she's back, fresh off a rebrand and ready to help as Sue Mackey. Sue is a certified mortgage advisor at Fairway Independent Mortgage, an equal housing lender who focuses on finding the right product for you and your needs. She has over 20 years of experience helping thousands of homeowners. Whether it's purchasing, refinancing, or even a reverse mortgage, Sue will help. Sue's licensed in 36 states now, so reach out and let Sue Mackey it happen for you. The best way to reach her is just give her a call at 520-977-7904 or in an email, spullen@fairwaymc.com. Fairway Independent Mortgage has an MLS number of 2289. Sue Mackey has an MLS number of 206048. That email again, spullen@fairwaymc.com, and that phone number is 520-977-7904. Shoot Sue an email and let her know she needs to update that address.
Baba, which day was it that, because there's one day where I remember saying something along the lines of like, I tried to hit the fast forward button because it was like I think I said I've been doing too much back testing, where like I feel like I'm in back testing mode and trying to hit the fast forward button while we're live trading.
I don't know. This week kind of all blurs together.
Yeah,
That would be amazing if there was just a fast forward button in live trading.
Would be.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I don't know, it's just another one of those moments that made me feel like I must be doing something right, because like I felt like I was back testing.
That was like Tuesday. Tuesday was a banger
that Tuesday?
day. Yeah.
It was Tuesday. I think I'd taken a loss and I was just...
You literally said that. You said, I remember I tried to fast... you've been back testing too long when you try to fast forward live market.
That's right, because I'd gotten into a trade and it was just kind of hanging around. I was waiting for it to go. It was like, normally I hit the next bar right here. Or go forward
Seems like
5 minutes.
Kyle, though, that you're doing pretty well lately. Like you've got a new system that you've been working with pretty thoroughly.
Yeah, but it's all sim trades right now. It doesn't. We'll see if I can do it live. I mean, I've been doing it forward for 3 weeks, and like I'm pleased with the results. I sent them to Baba. They look. I'm not going to bankrupt myself trading this way. Is what.
Yeah.
I can tell.
Last week you sent
right?
the results, and I think I said if you can, continue
get a couple more weeks of this, yeah.
Well, I think I said if you could continue that live, there's no reason to not scale that. Like the math works.
Yeah.
And
then the live is
the
so essential. I used to think like, no, I treat my paper account, my sim trading is like the same. Like I take it seriously. It's nothing like real money.
No,
it's just not.
I mean,
it's just not.
See, I had been taking them live and just kind of mixing between live and sim. If I was too afraid to take it live, then I'd flip back to sim. But just to make sure I was taking the same trades.
Totally.
Yeah, this week I've just been all sim just because I didn't want to. You know what? Let's not put the stress of that on here yet.
Yeah.
I know it looks good, but you know what? I'd rather just let's get a full month of data, and if it all still looks good, then I'll shop a prop account.
You're doing the reps. Well, I'm super excited to see if that continues. That would be amazing.
Yeah, and there's more fat to chew out of there or trim out too. The more stats I collect, and that's what gets exciting. Like now, I'm looking for the things that I can take out. Like 5-minute OR is maybe not necessarily the best. 15-minute and 30-minute look really promising when you start digging deeper into those stats. So
yeah,
dump on the 5-minute.
I think I might be.
I said it. There, I said it.
What'd you say? What about the 5-minute?
I said dump on the 5-minute OR.
Dump on it. Uh-huh.
Nice.
Not really. I mean, sort of, but like
I still want it. I still want to track it, but I don't need to trade off of it. There's information.
I like the 15-minute OR too. That's been my home for a while.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've ran back tests on how is the 30-second OR profitable? Because people will say, "Oh, it's not," or "Oh, it is." How, blah blah blah. Like, so if you run stats on the 30-second OR, which it is profitable.
Mm-hmm.
If you trade it a certain way with a certain risk and blah, 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 blah. Same is true for the 15. Ran it for the 15, ran it for the 5, ran it for the 30. And, I mean, at least at that time, with whatever number of days I was testing, the 5-minute was kind of the like that was the one that was that.
Which is surprising because it seemed like I was having good results with it while I was trading it, but then you go back and look at the stats and you're like, Maybe. I mean, the OR low
Yeah.
retest works great. The OR high, not so much. So it makes me wonder if maybe it's just a regime kind of thing too.
Well, that's yes, of course. That's
the-
always
and
a part
the-
of it. To tie this
the
back
30
to
All right.
oh, what did you say? 30
I
seconds?
said the 30-second, because that's what I've been working on the last month, is learning Pax's process for trading the 30-second OR. And this is a very public part of the process. I'm not giving away any secret sauces, but a big part of his is very tight risk control.
Tight rail. You heard it here first, everyone.
There's two ways to do. Well, so it's funny. There's two ways. There's two ways that it's profitable, and the other is that is more risk. It's just like anything, dude. Give it enough. The market. So this is. Don't run with this, but the market rewards risk. The more risk you can assume into a position, the more likely it is that you eke out a profit. Think about that. Like, just think about any position you've taken, right? Well, if I'd have tripled my stop, I would have made money.
Totally.
Well, of course. Like, the market rewards
Well, yeah.
the risk that we're willing to assume. The trick is, how do we assume an appropriate amount of risk in light of the potential upside over the course of a given number of instances, blah, blah, blah. So the other way, the 30-second OR, the 30-second OR really bangs if your targets are large. If your targets are large and your stop is wide and you're willing to carry part of a trade for more than one day, the 30-second OR is unbelievable because, I mean, it just is. Like, you can do the math on it. I mean, it's not a secret. The other way is to do it like a surgeon, like what you're talking about, and you're like knifing in, and your stop is tight, and your break even quick, and you pay yourself quick, and you ding, 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 and then you hold a small part, and
Right, and then you stack. So a bigger part of his thing is like, okay, if you catch a trend day, you are stacking until you have as many contracts as your risk management team will let you hold.
Yeah, you're in 2 contract, or let's say 6 contracts, hit profit target 1. If we hold above that, you're in 12 for the next 15 points on ES. And then if you scale those and then you stop us 2 points and you're in 24 or 32, you double. If you think about it, with momentum, you're doubling that and you're scaling it and doubling it and scaling it. And if that setup is permissed through like stage 2, you have to think about where you are in the day. You most likely have a 30-second no-tick OR. You most likely have a 15-minute drive higher. You most likely have maintained above VWAP. You've most likely maintained above OR mid. You are most likely breaking out of some form of value, whether it's overnight value that you've left and now you're exploring value, or it's at the edge of a distribution one way or the other that you're leaving for an exploration day. And so exactly, of course, if that
right, and those are once a month at most.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so the other piece is like staying alive to the whole conversation of what are we capable of?
Yeah.
Are we capable of ruining everything before we make
That's
it
right.
to that day?
Yeah, nice.
Be alive to trade tomorrow.
And that's why, and I think that's part of what inspires the thought of days for me, like 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, because like the simplest goal of all of us at its very, very base level is to be able to come back tomorrow. That's 1 day. I need to be able to come back for tomorrow. One more day.
Yeah.
And so that's, I think, why the day thing, I mean, that's just been a mantra. I mean, because I've been on the other side of that, right? Because if you guys, you know my story, if you go back however many years, I couldn't come back the next day. And if it wasn't for banks, I wouldn't have come back the next day. It would have been months and months or a year or two. I was done. I mean, we weren't like bankrupt as a family or anything like that, but like my ability to continue to pursue this as a venture had come to an end as far as my means, what I had to offer. And so I lost that. I lost the chance to come sit down the next day. I gave all the future days, I burned on that last day. I burned them all on a day. Again,
That's a
Kyle,
hell of a way to think about it too, right there.
Kyle, to the point, to the conversation we had about when you're having a bad day, would you back yourself? You know, that's where that comes from. That day, I mean, it wasn't just that day. It was kind of a sequence of days and a stretch of tough trading. But, you know, I just continued to double down, not double down literally, but like I continue to bet on myself. Oh, it's, you know, I'm the man, dude. Like I'm freaking awesome. And, you know, I couldn't come at a certain point. I couldn't come back the next day. And so I think that might be part of why the days thing is tied into it. So what am I capable of to the downside? I know when if I don't take seriously the risk and I don't take seriously my plans and the work that I've put in, if I don't honor that, and if I don't take seriously the unknown of what the market will do, not what I think is likely, but that the stats and probabilities are only that. They're not deterministic. Just because we had a better chance today to make a new low after lunch than we had to not.
Mm-hmm.
A ridiculously probabilistically high chance that we make a new low after 12 o'clock today. And for that matter, the way today played out, any day that plays out like this. But we didn't. We never actually ticked a new low, I don't think. I didn't watch it, but I'm pretty sure we didn't. We got close. We like double bottomed into OR or overnight low, but we never actually made a new low. We grinded inside of like 80 or 90 points on NQ for the rest of the day.
ES was a tick short.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
right.
Oh,
So stats are,
it was
you know,
such a tease. It was vicious.
Yeah, they're not deterministic. So while we have these probabilities, we have these stats, we have these, you know, all of this stuff, it doesn't mean that it will be that way. And I have to respect that because I know what I'm capable of if I just evacuate my mind of all the good work I've done and just go into button clicker mode. I'll ruin it all, dude. Yeah. I could ruin this year in one day.
I feel like we're doing Flary a little bit of a disservice by not letting him hang out in this one. I feel like he'd have a lot to say to this.
Yeah, we've been there before together.
Yeah.
Go back to the story earlier. I mean, I talked about, you know, I had those 2 days of variance in that account. Those 2 days of variance that, you know, went from, you know, essentially $2,000. And that's honestly how I thought about it when it came to an end. I'm like, dude, if I had not been stupid those 2 days, I would have had 4.5, 5 days more life in this account. 4.5, 5 more days for me to pull my head out of my butt. And
Bear, I got to pull out my Rich Friesen hat here.
Well, your head is not actually in your butt. Can I just
I thought those actions felt very rational in the moment too.
They probably did.
No, they didn't. They felt very. They felt
Never
very.
mind.
They felt very. I can do it.
So here's a thought that I've had. I've tried to I'm not good at saying this word.
Neuter?
Nourish.
Nourish.
Or
Or
I think
nourish.
I think it's my southern accent. Nourish. I've been trying to nourish this.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to
I feel like that scene in Caddyshack.
I've been trying to daintily care for this idea. Okay. and the idea is this, okay? And we say this all the time. It is so very true, y'all. And I think it's actually the little demon. This is the little demon that creeps in on those days, you know, where you're like, not at the days where you have a mistake. Like you're talking about, Cleo, it's like a trash day experience. Like that sucks. Mm-hmm. But it may be more like a day like Bear's talking about.
That's very.
Or a day like I was tempted with on Thursday. Like, you know, I was like, oh, hey, you want to come over and hang out with Satan? And I was like,
say it like the church lady though.
And I was like, no.
Not today.
Yeah. It's this thought that you know, that there's going to be an opportunity here at some point in this trading day that's so unicorn-esque, that's so unique, and that is so counter to what has unfolded so far. It'll catch everyone else off sides except me.
Yeah. You have that running.
Well, I have the awareness that like that little demon is what will lead to like extreme foolishness.
Yeah, everyone else is wrong or something.
Or the market is wrong. Like I'm
Yeah,
trying
yeah,
to
yeah.
dance with this girl. I'm trying to dance with this girl and I keep stomping on her feet and I think, oh, at some point she'll start dancing the way I want her to. And it's like, bro, she's doing something completely different and you can't get in check with that. So
that makes so much sense now, Baba, why that phrase, who's buying here, is your trigger phrase.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense now,
Yeah, I mean, I've tried to knit this thing together to do well. I mean, a lot of it goes together, but because be honest, you got y'all. I mean, unless I'm just that unique, you've thought like that's the fuel to make the foolish decision. Like to keep pressing. Oh, it's gonna change something different.
It's going to turn around. Yeah.
No, the reality is, the better, So the thing to nourish is that this moment is not that special. This day is not that special. This price action is not that special. And it's also not everlasting, meaning like we will have a different environment, if not tomorrow, next week or the next. Mm-hmm. And if I burn it all here, to Bear's point of the days that compound, the trend days, those bangers, then I won't be able to participate. Kyle, I can tell you with 100% certainty that if Thursday I would have pressed, and let's say I pressed and it went well. Okay, great. If I pressed and it went well, and let's say I made back,
tempted to do it again another day.
Well, no, well that's true. But the other thing is, I would have if I pressed and let's say I got it back to break even right on Thursday. High five me, break even. You're the man. I would have not looked at the charts Thursday night.
Yeah.
I would have not made a plan for what I thought was probabilistic for Thursday night. I would have not participated. I would have came to the desk Friday morning at basically even from Wednesday if I'd have made that back Thursday afternoon, and I would have probably had a hard time with the market we got. If I would have caught the downside trade, maybe it would have been okay. But the morning kind of lulled to like 10. It was kind of trash. We were freaking watching funny videos.
Yeah.
in the chat because it was like I was like, guys, I don't know. I mean, I would,
There's nothing to trade here.
And then this afternoon, let's say that I would have said, okay, the morning's no bueno. I'll come back after lunch. Well, after lunch is literally the definition of my personal hell when it comes to trading. When we can't move past this, smaller range, that's real tough for me. So if I would have taken Thursday as something special and unique, like it's a problem I got to fix, I got to get this back, I got to clean this up, blah, 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 I would have missed the Thursday night trade. I would have been held captive to trying to trade Friday to try to finish the week well. And then that would have given me the only thing that was available to me today would have been the market we had today, which I would say 70% of the time would prove to be quite difficult for me to trade. Instead, on Thursday, I said, "You're right, Banks. Let's just take a normal L. Let's take a within the curve loss on Thursday. High five ourselves. Be done. Let it be. And let's go to the charts. Let's look at if there's anything great tonight. I'd love to. I told the guy, I think me and Banks and somebody else were on a phone call from the room, and I said, guys, nothing would make me happier than to finish this week on a banger. And so tonight I'm going to sit down and look at everything. I would love if the market provided a great opportunity. Well, Thursday night, I set a trade, and this story is going somewhere, I promise. I set a trade up before I left to go to that banquet with my son. Because did I mention that? My son had his fishing team banquet Thursday night.
We talked about it on the stream, but I don't think we talked about it on here yet.
Oh, shout out my son. He finished 5th out of 40 anglers for the season.
Nice.
Which is this first year doing it. He's super into it. It was really fun. Anyways, shout out him. Got a bunch of prizes, new rods and reel and all kinds of stuff. It was super cool. A trophy immediately goes on his dresser. It's just, that's cool. You know what I mean? Super cool. But so I set a trade up before we went, and I was like, okay, if we pull back to here, want to be long, and I want to be long for a long time. So I put the trade on, blah, 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 set the stop, went to the banquet, couldn't look at it at the banquet, kind of tied up with all that. Came home. I was stopped out by like 3 ticks on the lawn.
Mm-hmm.
I said, oh, darn. And then I said, well, okay, what's true? You know, I asked myself this question like whenever I take a stop, well, what's true of the market right now? And is anything like discernibly different than when I wanted to be in the trade? And if not, was I just the beneficiary of the wiggliness of the market? And should I still be in the trade? And the answer was most definitely yes. We ran into that low and then recovered the level. It's like 808 to 817 or 806 to 813, whatever that was. That's what I wanted to be long off of. So when I came home, I re-entered the position within like 5 to 7 points of that move. It was great timing to come home and be able to check it. Added to the position, scaled, added on a pullback, scaled, added on a pullback, scaled, added on a pullback, and then went to bed with a stop at break even. Came back, thank the Lord. This morning, before news, added again. We had some tweet or something at like 8 or 7:45 or 8:30 or something where we like ripped up for 40 points and then dumped all the way back to like, wherever. Yeah. Okay, I had just added on the last pullback before that news move up, and then that news move up swept my targets out, and I was like, holy crap, I just literally traded the nut low of overnight almost to almost the nut high with ads at every pullback, every discernible pullback all the way. That story is not to say, and I'm the best trader in the world, shout out me. The point is, I would have never been willing to, if I had even done the work to take the trade, I probably wouldn't have. If I'd have fought all day Thursday to get to break even, I wouldn't have had the mental capacity to do the work. Secondly, if I had fought to come back, if it had have gone poorly, and let's say that normal losing day turned into 2 days worth of losing, like two red days, I would have never taken the trade a second time because I'd have been like, here you are trying to force it again.
Right.
I would have never had the wherewithal mentally. I would have not had the resource in my mind to be able to settle myself and make a good decision. I definitely would have never added where I added. Like the ads that I made on the pullbacks, I would have definitely been too P&L conscious and would have just cut the trade. So that one simple good decision set up a sequence, and then it kept me out of even having to do anything on Friday during RTH, during the shit show. And that's partially just fortunate, right? Like that's just a fortunate series of events. But everything besides how crappy I feel like most of today traded, other than that, like everything else is true of what I would and wouldn't have done. And I know I would have traded today like ass if I would have traded it.
Bob, speaking to kind of what you're talking about there, like the overlying theme, I think, on that, and this is, I think, Cleo, when we were talking about like what's different about this time around, I think there's some of that. Like, I don't know how many times over the past couple weeks, Bob, I said they're making it stupid. I'm not going to play today. I'll take a couple quick losses on something. If they're not respecting my setups, why am I going to sit here and try to fight it for the rest of the day? Like, I'm just not going to do it. And I don't know. I feel like saving myself all of the mental capital of trying to fight those days has made it, just like you said, it's so much easier to come back fresh the next day and be able to make good decisions.
Yeah, especially if we're a little out of our mind or like escalated in some emotional way.
Right, and taking 3 losses in a row kind of starts to put me on the path towards tilt.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, when you look back too, I mean, I think the win of this week for me on the whole series of what am I capable of, this week shows both sides of it. Like I'm capable of taking a so-so week and finishing it as a strong week. But I would have been capable of creating a real frustration week if I would have not followed the behaviors and patterns that I know to be the right choices, but sometimes struggle at times with the discipline to implement them. If I don't ever implement them, I never see the fruit of them. If I've never seen the fruit of them, it's hard to trust in the moment to implement them. And you really have to take a step of like, I mean, it sounds kind of like you have to really trust this is the wise choice, and I'm going to make it. If it costs me in this moment Kyle, this week you were trading something, and you said something like, "I wish something like, oh, I wish I would have taken that one because that really worked out." And then I think I said something like, over the long haul of trading, I think the choice you made is the right choice.
Oh, it was it's right before a news candle. I didn't put a trade on because news was coming in 15 minutes, I think. And and
it went your way. It went your way. And the news trade, you would have made money. But over the life of your trading career,
I didn't know. I don't have the data to tell me that this trade can play out in 15 minutes or less. So it didn't seem like it was worth putting it on beforehand. Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a good decision, dude. And that's where like the reward of the immediate has to be set aside for the I'm going to be here tomorrow. I'm going to be here next week. And my P&L today, forcing a P&L today is capable of robbing me of being able to be here tomorrow for any P&L.
Yeah.
It also helps that I burned my hand on that same thing. I think a week before that, putting a trade on and watching it blow through my
Daddy gonna spank.
In fact, I think it was the trade that Cleo was talking about. I was like, yeah, I'll throw out a long here. Or I'll try to short a test up into this area, and it just blew right through it on one of those tweets.
It keeps doing that lately.
What say you, Cleo? What say you? You believe that's true?
Which part?
What I just said. What Kyle just said. Is that what makes it difficult to make the right decision? Because maybe we haven't made it enough times to see the fruit from it. But every so often we make the bad one and it freaking works out.
Yeah, and that just sets us back. When
Totally.
you press those days and you make it back. Yeah.
I've been struggling with this discipline word lately. And it's
Cleo,
not.
Please don't start a whole new topic
right
at the end of the episode.
I want to go back to
like,
the Bible.
Also, okay, it's in the topic of what I'm capable of. I'm capable of going on tilt in my discipline. Like lately, I think it's possible that $1,200 loss, I'm still reeling from that potentially. Like I think it tweaked me a little bit. Like I really.
I bet you in the long run it saves you money though.
It probably does. It was a really hard lesson. It was an expensive lesson, but I'm still like not totally settled. It's like, how do we learn things really? Is it by just repeat pattern, like just doing the reps, or is there something kind of underlying that happens? Like, I don't really know. I feel off in my trading, even though, I had a great day today, but I feel like something's off. Something's the matter. And it's expressing through not having the discipline. Like, I'll have a plan that I'm going in with for the day, and then I get seduced into something else. Like some other opportunity. Ooh, but I can really do that one. Like, I've backtested so many different strategies and different possibilities, and it just looks so perfect. And I get a little like starry-eyed or something. I'm a little off. Like, I feel like I need to do some sort of unconscious, like subconscious therapy or something like that to see like what the hell is going on there.
The hell is going on?
What the hell is going on? Like, this is one of the things about trading is like, do I just do an action to fix the thing, or do I have to do some sort of weird woo-woo therapy session,
Some ayahuasca.
Probably,
yeah.
I've never been one for the woo-woo therapy sessions.
I am, and it helps.
It's fine. I'm down. Hey,
you like Rich just as much as the rest of us, though.
You do you. I do. I have cried listening to Rich talk to people before.
Yeah.
Right?
When he talked to that trading nut guy, dude, you know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And that guy's like, and then I had like 3 weeks that were really good, and then I decided to start trying to experiment with different things, and then I lost it all. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm the only person that's ever done that.
Right.
And then I heard someone else actually say out loud, other than me or Banks, this was a while ago, like that they had done that. And I was like,
we are so weird as traders. I can't believe we do that. It was so
cool. This was like a year ago or 2 years ago, but still.
No, we want to believe we're special. No, I'm the only one that's been dumb enough to do that.
Yeah.
No, we're in good company.
Yes. Cleo, I think to your point, what does it take? I think I don't know that it's the same answer for everyone. So you think of like learning, like as a cognitive function. How do I learn to deploy what I know?
Right.
I mean, isn't that like the challenge of a lot of life? For instance, like someone offends you. You know the appropriate way to engage in a conflict situation to find resolution between two parties. But boy, is it not easier to just cock the hammer, metaphorically speaking, and just
you
let
call
it,
that one hammer too?
like
Hammer and thunder. No.
You know, it's like it's easier just to
Right.
lose my
You know the
cool
thing
and-
to do,
Yeah,
but
it's
you get
easier
taken by
just to-
emotions.
take it. Let like the easy path. Let the emotions roll, and I'm just going to tell you exactly what I think.
We're gonna need to
You know what I do? What?
We're gonna need to get a Rich or a Sean on here for one of these, but that's something that I've been. I think I know what you're talking. Like, you want to be mad sometimes. You just want to experience the emotions.
Feels good.
Sometimes I
Yeah,
want to just be mad at my wife. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to talk it out yet. Let me just be mad at you for a little bit.
Let me
and then
just
we'll
act
talk.
like a 3-year-old. Give
Right.
me about 15 or 20 minutes
let
to
me
act
have
like
my
a 3-year-old.
Let me have my
Let me have
internal
my
tantrum.
tantrum.
Yeah,
And
that
then
will be good.
You know, what I find is like, to be honest, and just to be real vulnerable, we can cut this or whatever. I find that sometimes trading can be a window to the rest of who we are. I mean,
Yes.
it's an
Yes.
honest
That's
business from that standpoint. And
It's
so,
the strength of trading.
Totally.
yeah. And so
It's
if
why I feel
find-
concerned with myself. I'm like, I have no discipline.
Oh God,
This
I'm out
is
of control.
problematic. It's a bigger problem.
It's not. You do have discipline. Don't say that. You do have
I
discipline.
mean, I do. I say it kind of joking, but
I
there
know.
is something that's like deeper in a concern rather than just my trading. I'm like, what's going on here, right?
Yeah.
It is a window.
I want
Well,
to. I want to bring that up. Can we revisit this one next
just
week?
Make
Can we all...
make a note. We can come right back to it. Cleo, I think the other thing that can't be understated or underestimated. I know we're running on time here, but well, we could probably cut everything that happened before Cleo got here. To be quite honest,
Oh, hell no, that's gold.
that story I told about the squirrels, geez. But Cleo, is that the loss probably? I mean, that's a hangover situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it really is, because I don't know what size you're trading or what your average good day is, but I know that, I mean, for a lot of traders, that's probably more than just a couple days worth of green days to get that claw
It's the
back.
biggest loss that I've ever had intentionally. I've lost more when I didn't know what I was doing in the crypto space. But
Sure. Well, haven't we all?
Yeah.
Right.
Jeez.
But this is the biggest loss I've ever taken as a trader.
Yeah, and you know what sucks too? I just want to say that it's not a referendum on your capacity as a trader that happened. That was a oversight, a mistake.
Yeah.
That's not an edict that's put out on your capacity to make good decisions in the market, right? That's an outlier event that you can learn
it's a
from.
learning
There's
experience.
something
Yeah.
Yes.
George talked about with that too. That the idea that he talked about his largest loss that he'd had one of the first times we had him on our program, and then he had said after that, like, I hope that's not going to be the largest loss ever in my career. Because if that's the case, then that means that I'm never growing, I'm never sizing up, I'm never getting better.
Ooh,
Yeah,
well,
nice.
that's interesting.
So you just set a high score, and you're gonna hopefully exceed that at some point,
Oh
right?
boy, thanks. I mean,
Right.
yeah,
It's okay,
it's true. I
Cleo.
don't want to only be trading one MES contract also,
Right,
right?
right,
Like,
right.
You're gonna
I
have
do
the
want to be
capacity.
taking bigger losses than that.
Say that again, Bear. I'm sorry. You're
I said in the future you're going to have the capacity.
right.
You're going to
Exactly.
be trading large enough that $1,200 losses. Oops, that's a Tuesday.
Yeah,
Totally.
I lost
oh.
more than that. I lost more than that on a day last month. You'll be fine. Eventually, that'll be like a, that's
Just-
kind of annoying.
Yeah.
It'll be okay.
But I do really want to come back real quick. And
Yeah.
Kyle, I'm going to borrow one of your favorite little things, is that these things are fractal as well. So when we talk about let's not just trade for tomorrow, one of the painful lessons for me, not painful, actually one of the really positive lessons for me a few weeks ago when our volatility was nice and high. God, make VIX great again, please.
I've been saying that for weeks, bro. Give me
It's
one
still
of
in the
the
20s, dude, right now, isn't it?
Dude, one of the
but
really
it's getting too comfortable here.
one of the really important lessons for me, go back to this open range trade, was learning to go, you know what, in this volatility, I'll take one shot of an opening range trade. And if it doesn't catch, I'm going to stand back for good 5, 10, 15 minutes. Because if I shoot all of my shots in the first 5 minutes, I'm going to miss that 300-point opportunity that's coming in an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's great. That's an absolute fantastic thing to keep in mind.
Yeah.
I think Banks is really good at that, by the way, in case y'all haven't picked up on that. I think Banks is like amazing at giving something like one shot, and then like he will take a break even stop and just be like, well, and he'll take another trade break even stop, and then he'll be like, I'm gonna check back after lunch. Like he just, I think he does a really good job of that.
I think I'm getting better.
That's
at
one
it,
of the
too.
other
Of just
keys.
saving those bullets because if this, because dude, when it's easy, how easy is it when it's easy? That's the thing to think about. I've tried to think about that so much, dude. The ads I've gotten away with on the good days are. I can't believe they left. I can't believe I got them. Like I've doubled position sizes within 3 points of my stop on NQ, and they leave it alone. I'm like, you guys are just handing out candy, man. What the freak? There's been multiple times I've done that. The other times I take the stop. Okay, I doubled my position size. The stop was 3 points. My stop is never going to be inside of 3 points. It's like a gift. It's such a high potential place to add that it's like I have to do it. And so to your point, Beer, saving your shots when they're not letting you get away with anything, and it's just like, we're gonna come get your stop no matter what. Put it at 75 points, we're still coming to get it, right?
You might get one of them sooner or later, but is it going to be worth all the hassle? You got to sit there.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, I know what it feels like when it's good. What do your good days feel like? And that's something I try to think about every morning. Like when I go to sit down at the desk, right? What are the good days like? Holy crap, I sit down and it's just great.
I'll tell you what the bad days feel like. They feel worse than doing yard work and pressure washing the deck.
Actually, I was actually thinking, honest to God, I was thinking today, when I was pressure washing the deck, I was like, dude, this is so satisfying.
Pressure washing's awesome.
One swipe of the pressure washer and the board looks new.
There's a video game for pressure washing.
Yeah. Bobby, remember when you asked me? Nice. Bobby, remember you asked me if I feel any satisfaction for doing the work, and I was telling you like, not really. Like I see the satisfaction after when I see the project done, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I think that was not true. Going out and seeing the little grass we've been planting starting to sprout up is satisfying as all hell.
Oh yeah. Let's go, baby.
Right. Stupid grass. Is that a happy enough note that we can end this on?
I think it is. You got grass growing.
I got grass growing. Cleo's got her discipline, I think, back
to work on. I'm concerned. Everybody's concerned about Cleo.
It's a gift to your future self.
Cleo, are you coming back next week? Can we talk about that one in more depth?
Let me.
Bear is excited. What's Bear saying there? No?
I think he's saying yes,
I'm just excited, but
I think I can do next week. I think I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's plan on.
Maybe we can get Sean in there too.
I messaged him. I told him he can come next week.
Get him on the schedule. Let's get him on the schedule.
I'll talk to him.
You know what I'm capable of, Baba? Do you know what I'm capable of?
Yeah.
What's that?
I'm capable of grabbing my pellet smoker from the other house tomorrow, moving it up here, and throwing a tri-tip on there and letting it sit all day.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm capable of.
Let's go.
Nice.
I like it. Ending on the positive capabilities.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, well, that is going to do it for today's episode. So please join me in thanking Baba Yaga, Bear Goes Long, and Cleo for jumping in tonight.
What a gift.
Right? All right.
Thanks for pulling me in, Baba.
Every time you think you're out. If you want to thank these fine people for joining us today, do that by clicking on those links in the show notes. You visit vantatrading.com to help support the show, bandatraderspodcast.com, so you never miss an episode. When we finish with all that, catch up on your presidential history with Eric and I on The Buck Starts Here. Be back soon with another exciting... Oh? Go ahead.
I screwed it up. I was going to say just like and subscribe.
Ah, you got it. Yes. Do all those things and have a green week.
This podcast is intended for informational and educational purposes only. It does not constitute financial or investment advice and should not be construed as such. The hosts, guests, and contributors of this podcast are not licensed financial advisors, brokers, or professionals. Any trading or investment decisions made based on the content of this podcast are solely at the listener's discretion and risk. Trading and investing in financial markets carry inherent risks, and past performance is not indicative of future results. Listeners should conduct their own research and seek advice from qualified financial professionals before making any financial decisions. The views, opinions, and information shared in this podcast are those of the individual contributors and do not necessarily reflect the views or policies of the podcast creators or associated organizations.
Produced by China Shop Productions.